Hello everyone, welcome to this short Thinglink webinar. We've got about half an hour and I'm delighted to welcome Martin Coutts, who's an independent learning technologist, but that's kind of underselling him. But Martin is actually an Apple Distinguished Educator, an Apple Learning Professional Specialist, but really is doing some phenomenal work with iPads and some phenomenal work with Apple. And we are absolutely delighted that Martin is pairing up with us today to present with me a little bit about how Thinglink can be used on your iPads. Martin, did you want to add anything to the introduction?
Not at all. Thank you very much for that. I'll need to watch the door as I leave. You know, you bigged me up there so much that walking out the door might be difficult. But yes, I'm absolutely delighted to have this opportunity to, you and I speak quite a lot, but having this opportunity to show really the power of iPad. A lot of people maybe just think that the iPad is just a tablet or it's a fancy tablet, but really we're going to hopefully show everyone who's watching or is catching up with this at some point the power of iPad in education and why it really becomes an all-encompassing learning device, both for the pupil and for the teacher. So that's the plan.
Yeah, thanks, Martin. That's just fantastic. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Louise and I am the Director of Education, Community and Partnerships for Thinglink. So my role really is about growing the community and the use of Thinglink and also working with our key partners. Of course, Martin's one of those partners. So I'm just going to share my screen with you all and we have a nice introduction to Martin, feel free to jump in at any point. How this webinar is going to work is that I'm going to give you a bit of an overview about what Thinglink is and some really great examples that we're seeing emerging across Scotland and beyond. Examples that are by educators that are really inspiring other educators as well. And then I'm going to have a little look at how Thinglink looks and works on the iPad. And then Martin's going to really embellish that with all the tips and tricks and the things that I don't know, the things that you can do with your iPad and Thinglink. And then we're really happy to take any questions as well. Please do introduce yourself in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. The slides that I'm using are available at bit.ly/Thinglink welcome, and you're more than welcome to keep a copy of these slides. These are the master ones and I update them frequently, so you'll always have the freshest version. So I'm just going to go right in and share my screen with you here. So Thinglink is quite a mature edtech tool. It's been around 10 years now, and I'm delighted to say that we are a Microsoft Gold partner, and that's really relevant for you guys because it's really nice to know that through that partnership, we are actually a Teams app as well, so you can go into Microsoft Teams and add the Thinglink app. But crucially, and I think this is one of the things that actually works really beautifully on the iPad as well, is that we've got integration with Immersive Reader, which means that all of your text tags with the description text will actually open up into either 80 different languages and reading options. So that combined with some of the Apple features for text input can bring you a really powerful, accessible solution. We're also a Google for Education partner, and that means that we have integration with Google Classroom, and also the Google apps play really, really nicely and embed beautifully on Thinglink as well. And you'll see there that we did win a UNESCO ICT in Education prize, and I'm hugely proud of that because part of that work was about engaging young women who were unable to attend school to develop entrepreneurial skills, and this was done in Saudi Arabia all through remote learning. So another really nice example there. So Thinglink, as I mentioned, is a mature edtech tool. It's been around about 10 years and I'm hugely proud. It's the second time I've said that. I'm hugely proud of the work that we've done, but also Ula, the founder and CEO of Thinglink, this was her baby. She invented this 10 years ago whilst she was studying for her PhD at the University of Helsinki. And Ela was fascinated by Vygotsky's theory of perception and how we develop our cognitive skills, and how we can develop these skills by interacting with our environments, whether those environments are actually physical or virtual. So it's a really, really sound education base that Thinglink's founded on. And also that leads us to kind of where we are now in terms of online learning. We know that visual media, and particularly when we think about having layers of visual media, will have a key role in the future of learning. And that's with remote learning, we're seeing that more than ever at the moment. People are not just putting up PDFs. What they're doing is they're putting up media-rich, socially rich media to engage learners. And we know that this is absolutely going to have a key role in the future of learning. So Thinglink, if you don't know and love it already, and one of the reasons why I'm particularly pleased about working with Thinglink is that it plays nicely with everything and everybody seems to love it. But it has over 30 million users each month, so it has got a far reach globally, and we're predominantly used in education. And basically you can take an image, a video, or a 360 image or a 360 video and upload that to Thinglink, and then add in a whole range of tag types. And if you use these slides, and the link is in the chat, there is actually a really nice description of exactly what Thinglink is there. So whilst it was born out of an education reason, we found that it's being used in universities for higher education. It's being used as therapeutic solutions. So for example, someone's taken a picture, a 360 image of a kitchen, and labeled all of the kitchen items to help people with dementia realize the items in their kitchen. Loads and loads of really nice uses. So just to give you a little look at how it works there, so you can see that what we're doing is that we're making the real world accessible in the cloud. So you can use any of our 360 images, or you can take your own, and then you can add in your own text, labels, you can add in an audio, you can add in images, GIFs, you can even embed apps and tools in as well. And when you created your Thinglink, you can link it to other Thinglinks as well. So you can create a whole world of tours, which is just fantastic. Thinglink works on any device and any browser, and it's optimized for touchscreen. And as you can see there, it'll work on your Mac, it'll work on your PC, and it also works on the iPad. But I'm going to be really bold and upfront and say, yeah, the iPad app doesn't give you full functionality, and Martin is laughing because he's not muted his microphone, but absolutely, yeah, the iPad app is not great. However, and there's a really big but here, the actual use of Safari with Thinglink gives you extra functionality, even more so than if you're accessing it on your browser, on your Mac or PC, and that's exactly what we're going to look at. And it's also one of the reasons why the iPad app has not been updated, because it just works fantastically well in the Safari browser. So before I show you some of my favorite examples, I just wanted to bring your attention to the fact that there is a course which is free on the Microsoft Education Center. You can go in there and complete your Creating Visual Learning Materials with Thinglink badge, and it's worth 500 points. You can access Thinglink for free and create your free Thinglink account by going to thinglink.com/edu, but I'll be giving away a special offer once we've heard from Martin at the end of this webinar, so please stay tuned for that. So we do solve lots of challenges by using Thinglink, things that you find challenges as educators. Firstly, we never assume that people don't have accessibility requirements or language barriers. We just wouldn't do that with our parents and carers in our community or the young people in our classroom. But by using Thinglink with built-in Immersive Reader and the accessibility features to actually bring images to life, we can help people to really have access to visually enriching materials. We can also provide access to real-world environments that you might not be able to get. So, for example, if you worked with your community workplaces, you could take a 360 image of the inside of a workplace and actually bring that back into school and use that as a 360 Thinglink. So you're bringing real-world context right into the classroom. And if we think about where education is now and what that might look like in the future, then Thinglink can absolutely play a role in bringing a whole range of real world contexts that might necessarily be inaccessible. We also found that with lack of qualified teachers and specialist teachers, we're finding that e-learning uses and putting those out across a district. So if you've got a teacher who's able to run courses, e-learning courses, and make those really accessible. And there's some really nice examples, particularly in Scotland. Martin and I are in Scotland, and one local authority, which is in the Western Isles, is called eSchool. And they're using Thinglink as part of their suite of tools to create really engaging content. And now I think it's a nice time for me to show you some lovely examples that we're seeing right now across Scotland. And I'm just going to bring Martin and myself back on the screen there. And I'm going to go into my Thinglink here. So I have my account page up here that I've just logged into. So here I am on the Safari browser. And on the left here, you can see that I have some collections. And these are just Thinglinks that I have grouped together in a collection of, you can choose whatever topic you want to, and you can group any of your examples together. So this is some of the ones that I just really, really wanted to show you. So the first one is a Thinglink here that was created by Amanda Pickard, and Amanda is a teacher from South Ayrshire. And you might have seen some of these flying around. They're the emoji classrooms that people know and love. But this one has got a difference because Amanda's actually turned it into a Thinglink to make it really engaging. And this is a choice board. And what she's done is that she's built in little links, and actually she's built in little visual media, and this is actually her dog that she's got talking and introducing the P1s to their topic. You haven't actually got any sound there. But what she's done is she's built this Thinglink, and then she's able to push this out to her students. And there's lots and lots of really nice links, lots of web links. And this is all in one place. And this is really handy because it means that people don't have to go off to any other page. They're all there on the same page. And parents and carers really like this example because it's a choice board and it's got lots of different options for that week. It's not just a list of kind of assignments that Amanda's handing out there. So that's just the first example that I wanted to show you. So the other examples that I just wanted to show you, and I'm just going to go back into my, let me put another tab up, search my tabs, put that back up. Nope, I've lost it now. I need to open up another tab. Here we go, and go back to my Thinglink. Here we go. There we go. That should take me straight back in. Yeah, here we go. So the other images that I wanted to show you here is that if I scroll down and I lose my, how do I lose that on the side?
Just tap the book just at the top. So you see the open book. There you go.
Okay, so if I go back into my collections here, this is the next example that I wanted to show you, which is where Pettibon Primary School, which is a school in Wales, Bridgend, what they've done is they've actually taken that feature about being socially rich and increasing the presence of the teacher, although Amanda used her dog there. And what they've done is they created a 360 tour, and you're able to go through the school and then into the classrooms. And in the classrooms, the teachers have recorded little messages for the pupils, and not only are they putting examples of work they want them to complete, but they're also putting in personal messages about how much they miss them. And what they're doing with this is supporting transition for pupils who maybe haven't been to that school, that will be going there in the new year. So they can't physically go into the school at the moment. So these are really powerful. But also transition is about going back to school when the doors open for pupils that maybe, haven't been in school for the last few months. So this is helping learners to remain connected with the places and spaces they know and love, their classrooms. So that's just two examples of using an image and also using a 360 image there to create a really meaningful, powerful, engaging experience. Martin, I don't know if you want to add in any comments there about those examples, or if you're seeing any.
No, they're great examples. The classroom ones are really quite popular just now, simply because it's a kind of interactive space that pupils can go into as if they are actually going back into the class, which is quite good for maintaining their mental health, maintaining a feeling of actually being part of the class, which, being a parent of a 10-year-old and an 8-year-old, they are really missing just now. They are missing that routine. They are missing that camaraderie. They're missing their friends. They're just missing the kind of structure that school offers. And to see the way that a lot of teachers are kind of looking at how they can flip that and sort of still have that classroom feeling, but while everyone is remote, is really quite powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it'd be quite good now to actually have a look at how you create a Thinglink and how easy it is to do that on the iPad. So I've got Thinglink on my account page, and I've just gone in through the Safari browser, and you can see here that I have an ever-present blue create button at the top. And when I hit that create button, I can upload an image, I can upload a video, I can upload a 360 image, and I can even upload a 360 video. Now, this is really powerful, and one of our COVID offerings was that we lifted the limit for the video size that you can upload as your base media image to 10 gigabyte. And the reason we did that was partly because people were asking us, but what we also found was that parents and carers were saying teachers are always putting things on YouTube, and YouTube is like going down a rabbit warren. You can fall down the hole and end up in lots of different places. But also from an ICT management perspective, the school or the local authority didn't want to have lots and lots of YouTube accounts being created, and that was causing a bit of a problem. But of course, with Thinglink, you can upload a 10 gigabyte video to Thinglink, and then you can embed it into your school website or your Google Classroom or Teams or wherever you want to, your LMS system. So yeah, really handy way of using Thinglink there as well. And then of course you could put in your tags. So this is the nice bit that differs on the iPad Safari browser. So usually if I go to upload an image, it would just take me to the destination of choice on my desktop or my hard drive. But of course, because I'm using the iPad on the Safari browser, I can even take an image directly there to use as my base media. So I can go to my photo library, or I can just take the photo. So if I just hold up, and I was just saying to Martin, actually, I could see some nice birds on my bird feeder out there, and actually you can't see it at all in this picture, but there was someone there. I am not fibbing. There was a pair of woodpeckers.
You're not losing it.
So I'm going to use this photo, and there we go. It take just a few seconds to process, and that is my base media image ready to take, and that is hugely powerful if you're outside, outdoor learning, or you just want to quickly take an image and then upload it to Thinglink directly like that. So now I've got my Thinglink, which is my window outside, and I'm ready to add some tags in. So by hitting the blue add tag button, you can see I can position my tag anywhere around there. And now I can choose between adding text and media, which is any combination of text and media, and that can also be further video, it can be further GIF, it can be further images alone, or I can add text in as well. And it's this text that opens up into Immersive Reader. I can add a plain text label. I can embed content from a website. And this is where I can create a tour and link to my other Thinglinks as well. So just to show you another really nice feature with the iPad, if I want to add text and media, here's the white box. Firstly, I want to change the icon. So I might want to change that to an I for information. And Thinglink gives you about 300 different icons, but you can also create your own. And here I can add in a title. So I might want to put in test. I can add a description, which might be test. I can also add in a button URL if I wanted to, which would be like a call to action button. But here I can also add in further images or media. And this gives me the option, again, using the iPad's features to take a photo or a video, or to use the photo library. So if I wanted to, I could actually record myself giving an introduction. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Hello, everybody. I could use that one, or I could record any kind of video or images in there. So it's a really nice, easy way for teachers to just suddenly bring an image to life with some social presence, their messages, and this makes it highly personal and highly engaging as well. You can also upload audio, which you might want to use your iPad's recording facility. And then when done, I can click done and done again. And there we have my tag there ready. So that was just a really, really quick pit stop of how you can use the iPad with the built-in features. But now I'm going to hand over to Martin, and Martin's going to show you even more of how the features and the natives apps will work with Thinglink. So Martin, over to you.
Thank you very much. Yes, everyone. So I'm just going to show you how some of the built-in apps and out-of-the-box apps can be used. So apps like Keynote, Clips, iMovie, voice memos, how they can all be used natively on the iPad and then shared to Thinglink. Now, because we're using StreamYard for this, it doesn't have the ability for me to share my screen because I'm running an iPad. I'm running this off my iPad Pro. But what I am going to do is I'm just going to shift my camera, and here you should be able to see in a second my iPad that I've got some examples on. Now, we're going to go through the same thing here. Everything's going to be exactly the same as if you were seeing my iPad screen. The only difference is you get to see my hand showing you where I'm tapping and how all of these things work. So I have a Thinglink as well. I've got a Thinglink ready to start. I'm going to, you can see I've been creating a couple of examples here, but I'm going to do the same. I'm just going to do what we had there, and I'm maybe going to go to Pixabay. It's a good way to go. And I'm going to find a, let's see, I'm going to find a star field. So I'm just going to look for space because our class topic is all about space just now. And I'm wanting the pupils to start to create some content around that on their iPad, share it with me, and then I'm going to maybe display this as a class collage of all the work that we have been doing. So I am just going to download this. Now you can save it. I'm just going to take it as the normal one. And when this downloads, because of the way the iPad now works, this actually goes into a downloads folder. This doesn't go into your Photos app. So this is going to be slightly different from the way that Louise was doing it with the camera. So if I go to upload image, you can see there's actually 3 options. And don't worry that mine is white and Louise's was dark. That's just because the iPad can run in both light and dark mode. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm actually going to tap Browse, because what Browse does is it takes me into the document viewer. It takes me into the Files app where I can browse from the side here. I can tap on locations, and you can see if I am using any third party, if I'm using Dropbox, if I'm an Office 365 authority and I've got OneDrive, or if I'm using Google Drive, I can choose from those locations. But I'm going to go into my downloads folder. And there you can see the very first one there is the Milky Way. And because there's obviously ones that are built into Thinglink, which are excellent, but this one is just one that I have found from Pixabay as well. Now, everything is the exact same. The only difference here is where I found the image. I didn't use the take photo. I didn't upload. I went into my browser to browse some of the work that I was doing. So I am just going to come out of there. That's running in the background because unlike desktops, if I come out of something, it is still there. And all I'm doing just now is if you use an external keyboard, if you use Command and Tab, you're actually able to quickly shift between apps. If not, if you're using just the touchscreen option, when you do this, you can still open different apps. Now I'm going to go into Clips because that's an app that is quite popular for showing off creative style. And I have created this quick video. It's all about our space theme. So let's just play it. Let's see, I'll make sure the volume's up so you guys can hear me. Okay. So this would be part of a maths lesson that would show the comparison of size, weight, mass, and speed. Turn it down. And what Clips has allowed me to do here is it has allowed me to create a video with my smiley happy face that showcases. Now that could be done in a report, but using Clips, you're able to get the pupils to share their knowledge in a creative way. So by using my share icon down the bottom here, I'm going to tap it. You see that there's a second option there. I could put it into OneDrive. I could put it into Box. If I had Google Drive installed, it would come up there, Showbay. But I'm actually just going to tap Save Video. It's going to export that and put it into my Photos app. So what we're going to do in a second is we are going to put this into our Thinglink stars scape that we made. As you can see, it's been saved. And we're going to start to build this little immersive environment. So let's go back into Thinglink now. There we go. As you can see, I haven't lost anything. Let's add a tag. This one's going to be a text and media. I'm going to do the same. I'm going to change my icon, and this time it's going to be a video because it's going to be my introductory video. Okay, so Clips example. And what's quite good about this text is this can all be put into Immersive Reader. So watch this video for an example. And as Louise said, you still have this option when you tap the plus button. Again, we get that document picker. So you can see that there's a consistency here. You don't have to worry about, I can't access a Files app, I can't access anything like that. The iPad has the ability to pull this information from different locations. What's quite good is you can see my reflection as well. So if I go to my photo library now, all photos, last one there, you can see is a 24-second video. What's quite good, if I tap done, it actually gives me a preview. It lets me know whether this is the right video before I tap use. So it compresses it, puts it to size. And what's great about this is it just splits it. And because Clips exports as a square video, it formats it to a perfect size. And as you can see, if I tap this button here, this will take me into the Immersive Reader example, which is perfect. Okay, quite happy with that. So just going to go back into my Milky Way, and I'm just going to edit. Okay, so I can use Immersive Reader. This is the only issue here is that it's went, but photo library, video is there, tap done. Happy with that. Tap use. Okay, quite happy. Yeah, let's tap done. And now with my tag, you can see my clips examples there. Now I'm going to change my icon just so my pupils know that this is a video to watch. Okay, tap done again. Perfect. So bang in the center, I've got the first example that I want pupils to use. Now, the beauty of the iPad is that you don't have to worry about where your next work is going to come from because you can just switch between apps. So as if by magic, I've already created an animation that I was wanting pupils to use. Now, if you're wanting to find out how to do this on Keynote, let me know. I can take you through this. There are loads of examples out there. But what this is an example that I did with pupils in primary 6, where we were doing this as part of Earth Day. Now, the animation here shows the rotation of the Earth, how it's going to spin, and also how it goes between light and dark. Now, if you imagine this as a sheet of paper that's been cut out, that's all I've done here. I've used the built-in shapes that have the Earth there. I've used, all I've done here is cut out, which you can do within Keynote. But the main point here is that using one of the built-in applications, I am able to get pupils to showcase their knowledge about how the Earth rotates, about how, as the Earth rotates, night and day moves. It's also a nice little animation. It's a good way to build up their skills using the iPad. So what I can do here is I can tap on my 3 dots in the top corner. Now, if I just wanted to share this as a file for the pupils to use, I could tap share. However, I'm going to tap export because that is what I'm wanting to do. I don't want to export this as a Keynote file. I actually want to export this maybe as a GIF. So if I export this as an animated GIF, you can see I can take slides 1 to 2. I can export it. As it exports, it can either be as a video, it can be as a GIF, but it will play. Now, when I tap share, I have the option to save my image. Or you notice my share sheet came up there. I was able to put things in different places. But back to Thinglink, and I could add another tag. So this could be another text and media. Again, I can just pinch to see a bit more. I'm going to change my icon. This time it's going to be an image. I'm going to make it red, different icons. One of the things I found works quite well is different colored icons that maybe match with different colored media types. So all of your images might be red, all of your videos might be blue, all of your, that type of idea. This time when I do my add image, photo library again, this time you can see my Earth animation is there. Perfect. So you can see I can even create a GIF using one of the out-of-the-box apps on my iPad. When I tap use, I then have the ability to put that in as an example animation. So I'm quite happy with that. That's going to play. I'm going to tap, let's see, yeah, quite happy with that, done. And I might move it up here. Now, I could do this with pupil examples as well. If I was looking at some of the work pupils were doing, so if I add a tag, this one is going to just be the same again. This one is going to be an eye, just as a bit of information. If I go into my photo library again, you can see that I have in my photos a number of pupil examples. If I go further up, I can see that pupils have created an animation on climate change. They might have done some jump cuts as part of clips and how it all works together. But as pupils send you work, even if they have sent you something and it has been saved into your OneDrive, you can download it. So I could go into my OneDrive here. All of the files that exist would appear, the shared library, any work that pupils have shared. Let's just take this iPad multitasking as an example. I could take this one, it's going to download, but I can pull down anything that has been shared, even maybe something like a video that has been downloaded. So being limited to using an iPad, as some people might have thought in the past, doesn't mean that you're limited in terms of what you can do. You can still work in the same way that you would have. You can still pull work from different areas. Even with the updates to iPadOS and iOS 13, there is an ability now to plug in a USB pen drive and transfer some of the work. One of the other things that we've seen is uploading 360 images or uploading 360 videos. They can now be done using a 360 camera. And then if you just plug it in using one of these, this is the Lightning. If you're using one of the standard iPads with the Lightning adapter, you can take one of these, you can plug it in, you can take a 360 camera, put it into the USB drive just there, and the work can transfer over into your Files app. So you can still take work from different places, different locations. You can put it all in together. The other thing that you can do, I'm just going to delete this one, is obviously as you're working in different areas or different links, different apps, you can even take some of the work like this. So this is just a panoramic image that I took in my garden to try and create my own 360. Okay, let's see if it opens up. There we go. Now, what happened with this was when I tried to upload it originally, it wasn't the right size. So I did a little bit of jiggery-pokery, a little bit of work. And within Keynote is actually also a document editor. It's an image editor because it does a lot more than you would think. So by going to my three dots at the top here, and can you see just where it says document setup? If I tap on document setup and I tap on slide size, there we go. I think my fingers are dry. There we go. Go to custom. You can see when you go to upload, if you've got an image of these dimensions, 4096 by 2048, or a variation of that 2:1, the way that Thinglink works is that 2 width to 1 height. So as long as you have that aspect ratio, you'll be able to upload an image. And what I love about Thinglink is it will process that and it will turn it into a 360 image. So if you took a flat shape like this, and it was maybe Earth, it was maybe a map of Earth, you could actually have it turn into a 360 image within Thinglink that pupils could then explore. Now, they're able to do a combination of AR, a combination of VR, 360, and they're immersing themselves into the learning environment, all using tools that are either built in or free to download and use within the Safari app. They're not limited to having to install additional software. Everything I have shown you so far, comes out of the box. I'm just going to switch myself back round.
That's brilliant. I learned loads. That's just super. One of the questions that we just had from Ivan is, can I take a 360 image with my iPad or iPhone?
The closest you can take, Ivan, is a panoramic. Now, you might not realize, or you might already realize, that the pano image that you take essentially builds a large stitched together image. Now, if you're quite clever with that, if you're clever with how you do that, and I would invite you to follow Susan Say, and we'll put a link. Susan is a technology specialist with Education Scotland. She takes amazing 360 panos using her iPhone camera. And all she does is, when she goes in, and I'll just grab my iPhone, it's just charging here, I'll just flip it round so you can see. When I go onto my iPhone and I go into my camera, you know this panel option that you have here? There we go. That's it. So you can see I'm one of these people whose office doubles as a spare bedroom. So that's actually for when my mum comes to stay. That's her dressing gown. But when you take this panoramic, if you're quite clever with how you take it, and you essentially do a 360 as you go around, using that Keynote hack that I showed you, where you create that 2:1, and your best bet is 4096 by 2048. When you upload that to Thinglink as a 360 image, Thinglink will process it and make it stitched together. So that should hopefully answer that question. There is no native 360 camera, because for a good 360, you need something on the front and on the back. That's why those Theta cameras, I've got the LG one, that's why they exist. But you can hack around, you can do it ever so slightly differently.
Brilliant. And I know that the Google Streetview app as well is another way that you can take 360. I'm not sure if the Google Streetview app works on the iPhone. I know it's one for Android.
It does. Yes. Yeah.
So you could use the Google Streetview app as well and take some 360. And I've just put Susan Say's Twitter handle on there, @SaySusan. She's a great friend of ours, so I'd be delighted to make a little Twitter introduction to everybody there as well. Well, we're just kind of running out of time. We originally said about 30 minutes, but I knew we'd go over because there's just so much we can do and say.
Well, when I get talking, I just tend to keep going. Yeah.
But if you are interested in using Thinglink, if you go to thinglink.com/edu, you can sign up for your free Thinglink account. And this gives you the option to create Thinglinks. You get the full experience of the whole Thinglink editor, which means that you can use it with images, 360 images, and you can use it with video. And that's a free offering, and there's no adverts, it's GDPR compliant, there's no paywall there. However, you do have a limited amount of use if you want to embed it in, and all good apps need to be sustainable. It's a cost model, and rather than have adverts, we have a next tier, which is a classroom teacher account. And what that means is that you can add in students that work with you, and you get a collaborative folder and you can collaborate with your students. And that works out at about $35 a year. So it's about £30 or so. However, Martin and I already had a discussion about this, and we are very happy to offer a free classroom teacher account to any of our Apple Distinguished Educators or Apple Learning Professional Specialists, which is a really great offer. It's for a year. So in order to take up that special offer, you would email me, Louise @thinglink.com, and I will ensure that your account is upgraded to that classroom teacher account. So it does give you the option to try that out with students as well. There is a school option, which obviously is the preferred option for a school district, because you've got all your teachers and all your students on one tenancy, and it means that you've got an admin role there that can manage all of those seats. But there's more information about that on our website, which is thinglink.com/edu. So I think it's probably just down to me to say a huge thank you to Martin for joining us today. And we know that there's probably not a lot of people watching today, but we wanted this to be a resource for you to keep. And if you are using iPads in your school or your authority, your district, then, you know, this is going to be a great resource for you. And I'm very grateful to Martin for giving up his time and his busy webinar schedule to join us and to show us. I've learnt loads, and I'm sure everyone else will as well. So big thank you on behalf of everyone, Martin, for your time, and for the team as well.
You're very welcome. It was my pleasure. Absolutely my pleasure.
Great. So this will be available. We'll keep posting it on Twitter. The slides are available. There's a big slide deck there. We just looked at a sample of a few slides. And there's also a link to a Google Doc, which has got a whole list of examples in. But thank you ever so much for watching. I think that's us over and out. So take care. Thank you.
Thank you.